Gears of War Reloaded has me in such a weird spot right now, man, but I'm gonna break down everything. Now, throughout this video, I'm gonna be playing just some Gears of War Ultimate Edition. You know, this is basically exactly what Reloaded is. Reloaded just has polished graphics and things like that. I really want to get into the pros and cons, probably strike some discussions with you guys in the comment section and see what you guys feel about, how I feel about the game and stuff like that. We know a lot about the game. We know that it's not gonna change that much and everything. Let's get straight into it, all right? I do want to start off with the pros here. Start off playing some TDM as well. And I think one of the easiest given pros is the graphics are it's pretty dope. I will say, in contrast to like the games like Gears 5, Gears 4, even a little bit of Gears 3. You know, that's when they started changing the graphics a little more, but more so in 4 and 5. You know what I mean? Like I kind of went a little bit more cartoony and stuff like that. So the UE style of graphics definitely feels a little bit better. Reloaded graphics looks beautiful, right? Looks great. Another good pro, right? And that's what I'm saying. There's only a few of these. There's really, like, in my eyes, I feel like there's only a few of these. Another good pro that I saw was that it's free. The game is free if you got UE, which is dope. You know what I mean? It's very cool. You got Game Pass, it's free, which is cool. You got crossplay for PS5. It's another pro. That's gonna be amazing. That's probably out of all the pros so far, that right there is the biggest one. Shout out to, you know, PS5 getting added along. And the game does feel better than UE when the servers are working. You know, it does feel smoother, a little bit more reactive, a little bit more consistent. But right there, I'm gonna be honest, guys, right there to me, that's when all the pros stop. Yes, the PS5 crossplay, absolutely. I do not want to downplay how incredible that is. You know, how great that will be for the Gears of War player base and how, you know, how strong the game could live off. But that's what leads me to literally everything else, guys. So you guys, if you guys are watching my streams and stuff like that, I streamed the game, bro. I within that weekend, within the first weekend, bro, I played the game for 40 something plus hours, right? I put an ungodly amount of time in it. Even cranked a 24-hour stream at one point. Just playing this a whole bunch of just Gears Reloaded. And I will say this, a lot of cons, but I still do think, I don't want it to take away and make me like, you know, make you guys think that I just think it's trash or something like that. So I just want to give you guys that disclaimer real quick. But one of the biggest cons I had off rip was I feel like, especially coming on to the second week. The first week, it didn't feel like this as much, but the servers felt like, yes, I knew that the entire approach for this beta was for them to test the servers and make sure they're feeling good. But I feel like somehow, some way, right? And this might sound crazy when I say it. The servers in week 2 almost felt like they were like player hosted. Like there was many games where I know we can't see our pings in this game, which I also do think is a con, and I hope that they switch that around to at least make it where not the entire lobby sees your ping, but you're able to see it just from your perspective, you know? I would say like something like how Warzone has their layout where it shows your frames and stuff at the top, along with your latency. You know, maybe your PC temp and stuff if you're on PC, and if you're on console, it shows your latency, your frames and stuff, so, which is kind of cool. And then, yeah, it's like there's certain lobbies that I feel like an absolute fucking warrior going out there, bro. I mean, I'm hitting every wall I want to hit. I feel smooth as butter, right? I'm feeling buttery out there. I'm in every single wall. My shots are connecting pretty well. I don't like the hit-reg game, but my shots are still connecting pretty well. I'm just literally just one-shot people at will, and that feels great, right? And then on the flip side, there's also times where I felt like the game borderline felt like unplayable. And I'm gonna be real with you guys. More games than not, the games felt unplayable. And whenever I did feel like I found a lobby, I feel like it will only last like that felt well. I feel like that will only last for about 2 games for me. And next thing you know, I end up having to leave that lobby. I'm like, damn, the lobby feels like terrible again. I feel like I know so much about Gears of War. I can't even tell you like what the proper feedback to TC would be about that, other than like, fucking, I swear, there's nothing worse to me than giving like bland responses, but that is a simple, to me, that's a simple fix the servers, you know, like, make it feel more stable. Definitely showcase the ping, even if it's not to the lobby. Like I'm not gonna lie, I never really agreed with it being directly to the lobby to showcase ping. Just because I feel like if I see an opponent that, if I'm constantly playing against an opponent that has like 100+ ping, I am strictly I am fighting you, or I'm not strictly doing it, but I will do it more times than not. I will force you into like reaction-based scenarios where you have to out-time me in a one-shot scenario or something like that. Because if we're talking about it, you know, I mean, Gears of War, a big part of Gears of War is being able to one-shot kills with the shotgun. And if you're ping super high, like you're playing on bad servers all day, that becomes so much harder. So much harder. It's more than just that too. It's not even just the one shot. It's like movement and everything, like sticking to walls. It all just feels so much worse. But it's other games I've played, like Apex, for example. I feel like Apex is a great example. Apex is a game I can play at 130 ping, and the lag compensation is pretty strong to the point where it doesn't feel like you're at an extreme disadvantage. In your opinion, you're definitely at a disadvantage, but it's not as blatant as like a Gears of War type of disadvantage. You know, the one shots and stuff. The servers, that might be one of the biggest, you know, cons I felt from just a gameplay standpoint. And I definitely will say it felt a lot worse in the second season, or not season, second weekend. Another thing I would like them to do, that probably would be cool, is if they are going to do like a server selection type of thing like they had in UE, but for some reason it's like they had that in UE but didn't have it in 4 and 5, where you could directly select the server you connect to. I would like it to show like the city that the server is based in, instead of just saying US East or, you know, US Central or whatever. Just because, I don't know, I feel like it's just better, especially if they added, you know, more servers. Apparently they're saying they're adding a lot more server locations, so that could be cool. Being able to see your ping, I feel like that should be like a necessity, honestly. I feel like I didn't hear a lot of complaints about that.
You shitty ass nigga, you drawing shit of the game. Get that shit your fucking ass, shirt, shitty ass boy.
Get this guy, bro. All right, thank you. Let's go to the next our next like issue. Okay, so yes, I don't want to sound like a baby on here, but I know a lot of you guys will agree with this statement as well. Now, yes, I do think having something is better than nothing, right? Just because I'm a Gears player, I fucking love Gears of War. But Reloaded is literally like, it's literally a remaster of a remaster. So it's not like it's the first time Gears 1 got remastered. You know what I mean? And to make it even worse, it's a remaster of a remaster, right? And it being a remaster, it is like literally a carbon copy of UE. Like all the same bugs that are in UE are in Reloaded. I'm not even kidding. All the movement bugs and stuff, all the hit-reg shit, it's all in UE. The only difference that might make it feel a little better is if you end up on a good server and it's, you know, it's a 60 hertz server instead of a 30. That's it. So serious. I reached, like, I didn't hit every single bug I didn't hit in UE, bro. And I don't think that's a good thing, especially for the game to be 2 months out. To me, that kind of indicates that they're not gonna really do any changes. And I feel like that, like, if we're talking about, you know, PSF players, they're being their first Gears experience, first impressions mean a lot, man. And that's gonna, I think what Gears Loaded may end up doing is turn a lot of like new players away from Gears of War because of how old, you know, clunky the hit-reg's now, like real casual friendly and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't think it's the best first impression for a Gears of War game. Even though campaign, we're talking campaign wise stuff like that, you guys want to get into that? Okay, campaign's dope. Feel me? Campaign fucking, it's a Gears of War campaign, bro. The first 3 games, the Gears of War campaigns are all the best Gears of War campaigns. You know, like Gears 2 being my favorite, of course, but Gears 1 was amazing. You know, it struck that, you know, that horror-ish, gritty feel and all that stuff. First time seeing a Berserker, everything, right? Corsair, all that stuff was fire, right? But I'm talking strictly multiplayer. Strictly multiplayer. It's like this game, you know, it is remastered, and even the remastered, I feel like a remastered, yes, it's fine for it to be like, you know, very, you know, true to the original in many ways. But for this day and age in gaming, man, like the modernization of gaming, this game, it kind of just feels very outdated. Like the game modes, and the game modes are a whole different point I'm gonna get into. That was a big one-shot kill just now. game modes, man, the clunkiness, how slow the game feels, all that. I feel like all that takes account into it as well. It really does. I'll look at any other shooter I played as of recently, and do not. And you know, I always hate these comparisons, man. When people try to bring up like shooters that were mainly meant for MK, like a Counter-Strike or a Valorant or something like that. You can't. Obviously, those are slower-based games. They're playing with literally playing MK. It's like this entire different type of game. But if you want to do other first-person shooters that are more console dominant, you know, we talk about like the Apex, the Call of Duties, things like that. They've become way more fluid over time, and Warzone had a pretty like big example of what happens when you try to revert the movement back to like that older feel. It literally sent the Warzone community to a fucking uproar. And a lot of people, it's like a common misconception of Gears of War that's starting to happen now is that the movement pushes players away from the game when it's too fluid, too fast, whatever, right? And I think people try to use like Gears 5 an example of that, when Gears 4 is actually a faster game than 5. If people don't notice that, but Gears 4 is actually a much faster game than 5. And the way that game plays out, people love playing ranked in that. I think what matters more, that will actually separate that player base from even feeling that way in the first place, is having a good ring system. And that's actually the only game that had like a legit ranking system that really displayed your skill level, you know, or display like where you were at. And that matters a lot. Being able to separate those players that are of lower skill level with the higher 1%, that matters. That matters more than honestly anything, in my opinion, when it comes to a multiplayer game. Especially something you want to give any type of like competitive standpoint, competitive foundation on. So that also brings me to another point. We're gonna keep on letting the lobbies roll here too. I feel like a huge problem with Gears of War in general is our entry game modes. And I felt this way for a while. If you guys watch my streams, you heard me say this point many times over, and I'm gonna keep on repeating this until it gets changed. Like, by far, we have the worst version of an entry-based game mode ever. Now, if we're looking back at the old days, we're looking back at Gears 2, Gears 3, this game mode didn't even exist. All right, it did exist in Gears 3, but not Gears 2, Gears 1. The game mode didn't even exist. Even back then in Gears 3, it wasn't even fun. It wasn't good. TDM, it shouldn't be taken out of Gears of War, but I think that it should be completely revamped. I think the style of TDM is terrible. It encourages too much camping. It's too slow paced, and it's not even just the pacing that's a problem. Spawn points, having a set spawn protection that goes across every single map is just goofy to me. Like for example, right? I know this is a lot in the Reloaded beta too, and I played UE these, and the spawn protection is set to what, 7 seconds, I believe. In 7 seconds, it might sound good running out of spawn on Gold Rush, right? Because you gotta run pretty far out of spawn, running far up a ramp. But 7 seconds on Raven Down, that's a whole different beast. 7 seconds on Raven Down, you're actually John Wick running out of spawn. And somehow, you know, no bullet is putting any damage on you, you know? So I think in a perfect world, right? The perfect Gears universe, spawn protection wouldn't even have to exist. I would like them to create a TDM game mode. Because I think, if you think about it, guys, the first game mode that a casual player is gonna notice in Gears of War is Team Deathmatch. It's the universal shooter game mode. If it's not that, it's gonna be free-for-all. We keep getting free-for-all, right? And that's probably gonna be the first thing they try. And our version of TDM, bro, the experience can just be so bad off rip, just simply because the game being just like, the game mode is being bad. I'm not even kidding. So what we should do is, I want it to be strictly a point-based game mode that doesn't go down to the last man standing. So let's say it's up to like 60 kills, right? And I know that might sound like a lot, but hear me out. So 60 kills. And I also like to get away from the respawn timer being on like 10 seconds to 7 seconds, whatever. I would like to decrease that to maybe 3. Therefore, it feels like you have a lot more chances to get back in the fight. It speeds up how fast the game is played out. And on top of the respawn timer being a lot lower, I want to introduce more respawn points. Every TDM map having 2 respawn points except for Raven Down having 4, that shit is terrible, bro. Like, we gotta face it at this point. That's just not it. The respawn point should be to feel way more similar to King of the Hill But if we want to keep the objective only to eliminate enemies, we need to speed up the pacing of the game. Gears of War to me has always felt best, not only in a 5v5 setting, but when a game feels like you can constantly rotate back into like the main fight. Like, you know what I mean? You can constantly just keep getting active. It doesn't feel like the game resets after every single kill. And that's the problem with TDM. Because not only does it reset, like the game feel like it resets after every kill and slows down a ton. But on top of that, now like there's a rule setting that if it's, let's say we got 1 kill in the entire round. Just because we got 1 kill and our teammates didn't die, we win that round. I don't think that like how often the game should end off of like a stalemate or you know, the stalemate being off or whatever. It just shouldn't happen. Really shouldn't happen. So I would definitely like to introduce that type of TDM. I think that'd be way more casual friendly. I would definitely like to play that more. And it's another one, and I didn't say it like for half a second, but I kind of skipped over it. But I know they probably won't do this in Reloaded, but hopefully this comes back in E-Day. But I think that if we do have competitive, our esports back in the game, esports should be 4v4 and pub matches should go up to 6v6. I would love to introduce a 6v6, or you know, a 6v6 might be stretching it. That's more so my new idea, but I would love to at least go to 5v5. I'm not gonna lie, I've had the most fun playing Gears pubs when it's 5v5. 4v it just doesn't, like, it's not even like it feels more tactical, which they think that it really does, but it just feels more boring, man. It really does. It really feels more boring. I really just like the feeling of 5v5 more. And a lot of these maps, they can be dynamic enough to play 5v5 or 4v4. It just comes down to DC, you know, making some good spawn points, things like that. And I think that things like that, like when we're talking about a rank system, we're talking about the game modes. I feel like those type of things matter just as much, if not more, than certain mechanics. Matter a lot more, man. Like, yes, the game is fucking riddled with bugs. That's true. It's riddled with bugs. Yes, it is a remaster. But I think that there's certain ways for it to be, like, you know, modernized and still stay true to, you know, the core base of the game without it being too much of a change, and instead just being a game that makes everybody just overall like happy. I think this game is dope. I think this game actually does have a lot of potential. You guys know me, you know, I love, if you watch my channel, you know I'm a mechanics freak. I like to play with a lot of movement. I like to really, you know, test the limits of the abilities, like stuff that you can do in the game from like a high skill standpoint. And this game is not, you know, this game's not bad. It's really not bad. Even with all the bug shit, it's actually not that bad. But there's just many things that I could see if this is your first Gears game in this day and age, and I saw a lot of people like complain about it already. It's kind of overly funky, man. Like a little bit overly funky. I still think like if we were to get like a Gears 2 remaster, a Gears 2 remaster would probably still end up being the best thing, like probably the biggest hit in the Gears of War franchise. That's an entire different game. And I also hope, I really do hope that Reloaded doesn't lead to E-Day being like this game, because that'd be terrible. And that's another reason I feel like it's not the best introduction to the Gears of War, you know, franchise. Because let's say E-Day goes back to being like a 4 or 5 type of game. That's a huge jump. You know, if you think about the jump we did as Xbox players, we went from Gears 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. And yes, at least they all gradually got faster, right? But if you go from a game like Reloaded to a game like 5 instantly, you're gonna be like, what the hell? You know, especially because like a lot of the core mechanics change, and it goes to Avexys too. Like there's a lot of players that I had to, you know, I had to re-explain to them that, yo, your shot doesn't come out your barrel in this game. We played barrel shotgun games for the last 10 years. And then out of nowhere, yo, your shot goes to your screen again. Like small things like that, bro, can disrupt how like a casual player into completely just giving up a game. They don't understand what's going on. So they gotta be real careful when they change like mechanics like that. And I know some of you guys probably won't be answered too. Like, do I think Gears of War, like a Gears of War game should come out center screen or barrel? Truthfully, I don't care. I think I do like the center screen aiming because I think that would actually probably would make more sense for a casual player. But I think for many fights, the game feels way more consistent when your shot comes out of your barrel. Like when you get to that point blank range, the hit rate is so insane in this game. When you get to that point blank range and you're like extremely close to your opponent, there's so many instances where it's like you can't even tell how to like perfectly shoot at your opponent. You got to just keep like, looking downwards. It's so awkward. It's so awkward. So yeah, that's pretty much it for that, man. Reloaded, like I said, it could still be a wonderful game. It could still, I would love to eat my words, and you know they do a lot of fixing, and you know the game really pops off and does what we want. Like, you know, we would love to see it do. Like grows the player base a lot, and it's just an overall fun experience. But there's a lot of things that needs to be addressed, needs to be changed. I think they could, you know, I think TC could do a little bit better job of communication with the community. They actually did a great job in 5, by the way, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I do want to give them their flowers there. You guys, I know a lot of people felt like they weren't heard in 5, but I promise you, like there's a few updates that like the cash community had a huge part in simply through me, like me being the person to kind of, you know, sending in like the comments section, seeing how much you guys are agreeing, looking at Reddit and stuff like that, what people are complaining about, and they actually do listen. It's a very good team in there. I'm not even trolling. It's a very good team in there this time around. So you guys, like, it's good to have some belief in them. I really do think they're gonna steer gears in a good direction. And I know for a fact that their focus obviously isn't going to be too much reloaded, but I think some of the changes that I'm asking for could be pretty small. So hopefully they can give us that, right? I would hope that they can give us, you know, a few things. I know we're all kind of more focused on E-Day, and yes, this game is the reload is definitely technically going to be free. You know, it's like my complaints are they're there 100%, but they're not life or death. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm gonna play out this game. Apparently I'm getting smoked right now, so let me tee up, bro. Let me start trying a little bit. Make sure you guys comment, like, subscribe if you made it this far in the video. It was definitely a lot of non-stop talking. If you guys want me to have like more topics like this, stuff like that, feel free to let me know what you guys like me to talk about. And I would love to like for this type of video, I would love to see you guys comments, a lot of engagement on this. Because I'm not gonna lie, like TC actually does watch these small videos, and they've talked to me about you know certain things before, which is cool. They're definitely very active community, even if they don't show it.
I'll take those.
I really hope they fix the hit reg. Like the game logic behind the shotgun is I don't like this version of it. I like 5's version of it. Like, even if it's center screen, I like how it's more pellet based. It doesn't have like your shot comes out at random points of your screen and stuff like that. That guy doesn't know what's going on. Oh my god. Oh my god. I haven't seen that guy. Get over here real quick. Nice, we catch 6 seconds or 7 seconds. I gotta LT those, man. My pop shots are really like the only semi-consistent way of shooting in this game. You have to like damn near pop shot everything. Oh. I'm getting smoked, boys. I'm not gonna lie. Don't block on me, please. Go high side, see if I can rotate for one of these snipes real quick. Oh my god, bro. That's one of those things too. That's it's so like he thinks he really did something. But bro, in Reloaded, that's the same shit. Like I hate that teleport shit so much, bro. It's like the game has an ungodly amount of like desync. It's crazy, bro. Like somebody do an animation, and actually, you know, they just teleport so far forward, and on that screen it looks super smooth. Just insane to me, bro. Jesus Christ. Let's go next. Oh, two-piece action. I do not trust flanking people sometimes in this game, but I really point back somebody back, and it means nothing. It means nothing. Nice. All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, man. I hope a lot of this really struck some thoughts in your head about just the Gears of War direction when it comes to Reloaded. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe for your boy. Comment below what you think, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.